Welcome back to After Duty Hours. This is episode 9. We are back from the Freedom Fest episode. If you haven't checked it out, I would highly recommend that you check it out. And for all of our Spotify and Apple listeners or any other platform that we're on, that episode was exclusive on YouTube. So if you're wondering why we're jumping numbers here, that episode is just on YouTube. And I have to say, another big shout out to my team in the background. They're always here with me, supporting me. Without them, I would not be able to do this. They take a lot of workload off of me, where I don't have to worry about things. So I just want to, we're out here literally after duty hours, providing the best entertainment we can to all KMC and anybody else who's, wanting to take a listen to our podcast. And without further ado, I'm your host, Renee Flores Jr., and I got a very special guest with me today. I have Amanda Femano. How are you doing?
Doing great.
That's good. I almost forgot the disclaimer, but before we continue, this podcast has no affiliation with Ramstein Air Base, U.S. military branches, or the U.S. government. That's very important not to forget that.
Yeah.
But have you watched any episode? I know you didn't. You don't have to watch all of them, but have you watched here and there a few episodes?
Yeah, I've watched quite a few.
All the way through? Maybe not all at once?
No, yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
Wow, nice.
Yeah, I did a drive back from Switzerland that was pretty long, and I just went ahead and played them. Mm-hmm. So I didn't watch, but I listened. Yeah, obviously.
Which one did you happen to watch?
Oh my goodness, I think I've seen all of them now, except for the live from Freedom Fest. I did not see that one.
Yeah, that was a little bit of a fun episode. Yeah. We weren't really talking much. We were just pulling random people. Yeah. Courtney in the back, she was bringing people in, and then we just got to know them really quick, and then we asked them like American history questions. And
whatnot. Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
And if they won, you got like a free slushie or whatnot.
Oh, nice. Okay.
So.
Yeah, I saw you guys working, but didn't get a chance to listen.
Oh yeah, it was, and then it started to rain, so we had to cut it short. So, but what do you think about the podcast so far?
Oh, I love it. I think it's great to have something by the airmen for the airmen. Mm-hmm. It's good. I like the rules too. I think it's nice to sometimes. You can still respect people and strip down the formalities and have a discussion. So it's good.
Yeah, that's one of the many things focus on this podcast is kind of humanizing kind of everybody and making everybody realize that we're all kind of in the same boat here.
We are.
We're all serving overseas, some not with families, some got their family here because they're old enough, and then they got, their families, whether it be a husband, wife, and then their kids and whatnot. Mm-hmm. So I think it's very important to kind of like, we all have something in common. Now let's kind of just like learn about each other and even give each other kind of mentorship in some of the subjects. So that's kind of the objective that I see with people who have more military experience. I kind of tend to focus on the episode being more about like mentorship and like something that you can take away from the episode. And when it comes down to the younger junior enlisted, they can kind of just provide good entertainment, something that younger enlisted can also relate to, like if it has to do with like the work or living in the dorms and stuff like that, or what they do to kind of like keep busy.
Yeah, definitely.
So let's get started. I kind of want to start off with just easy topics, like give us your hometown background, upbringings.
Okay.
Where are you from?
Yeah. So I am a military brat. My dad was a pilot in the Navy. I was born in Europe at Rota Naval Air Station over in Spain. Mm-hmm. Didn't live there all that long. He switched into the reserves, and we went back to Delaware for a little bit and lived with my grandparents. And then he got a job with American Airlines, and we moved to Willow Grove, Pennsylvania, which is right outside of Philadelphia. And then moved again after that to a place called Doylestown, Pennsylvania, and that's where I grew up. So started off a military brat, but soon transitioned into more of a civilian kid. So most of my upbringing was Philly suburbs. So
man, that seems like a lot. I don't know how. I mean, I'm expecting as well. That. Mm-hmm. That's gonna be kind of crazy. My kid's gonna be born in Germany as well.
Yeah.
So like I don't.
Yeah.
I mean, we have a couple of plans of what we want to do. We kind of want to go back to the States a little bit, and then maybe I'll do like a short tour in Korea to get me back overseas, and maybe go to Japan. So like, I mean, there's a lot of possibilities. We're just taking, one tree at a time to, kind of see where we're trying to go, one step at a time.
Yeah, I got a whole bunch of kids, so kind of walking through the military career with 4 children in tow, and they're 10, 8, 6, and 3. So they are starting to have opinions about where we move to, and they are forming stronger bonds with friends, and getting angry when PCS time comes because they have to say goodbye to friends. So trying to build it to be a positive in that we're growing their resilience, giving them adventures, understanding that they're going to have to deal with and process emotions as we go through each move. So it's definitely hard to be a parent of military brats. Yeah.
I had no idea. I don't know why I forgot about that. And that's gotta that's the stuff that you see in movies when it's like the first scene where the girl or the boy is moving to a new school and she's like staring at the window. She's so upset, and now she's got, she gets picked on and whatever. Like, I don't even know. But I kind of want to ride that subject a little bit.
Yeah, sure.
So do they usually win of where you're trying to go? Or?
They don't get any say in it.
Oh, okay.
Unfortunately, I wish they did. I wish they had a little bit more say. I would say that the career field that I'm in is very, very good about listening to its members, and if there really was a hardship, they would work with me.
Have they ever been to the States yet?
Yeah. Yeah. This is so we spent my oldest 2 were born in South Carolina. We're stationed at Shaw, and then we moved very shortly after that to Hawaii. And then my 3rd was born there, and then we moved to Ohio, and my 4th was born there. And then after Ohio, we came out here. So
on average, how long do you stay at a base?
Earlier in my career, it was 3 years. I think it was 3 years, 3.5 years in Hawaii, 4 years at Lackland in Texas, but a year that was deployed. Yeah, a year that was deployed though, so I can't really claim 4 years in San Antonio. But now we're on the 2-year plan. So command tours are 2 years, and the job I'm going to next in Ohio is 2 years, and so we expect either 2 years or 1 year turns in. Probably for the rest of my career.
Yeah,
so that's
I was just
tough.
kind of curious to see the friendships they build within that year mark, and I mean, if you make a friend in 3, I mean, me and Marcy have been friends for almost about a year now, and I can't imagine he's gonna be gone. So I mean, it kind of sucks, but I mean, I had to say goodbye to some good people already at Ramstein, my first base, so it's
we try to say it's see you later, it's not goodbye.
Yeah.
So at least for our older kids, that's kind of working right now.
Yeah. Well, at least there's FaceTime now. I mean, it's not like you're
that's a whole other topic. I've got, my oldest is only 10, so social media is not really a thing yet for them.
Okay, yeah. Well, that's important. I kind of agree with that.
So it's, they're all different things that are brought up there. How early do you give a young military kid a phone if they want to keep in contact with their friends from other bases? So we're crossing a whole bunch of new hurdles right now.
You're kind of getting me kind of in the thinking process of man, these are stuff I haven't really considered yet. But I mean, 10 years is a long time from now.
It feels like it. It'll go by very quickly.
Yeah. I see kids grow up really fast. My wife took care of a kid once, not able to walk. It just, you had to do everything for the baby, and now he's walking and moving everywhere. I'm like, man, how long has it been? And it's a year, right? I'm like, this guy's already up and around. That's kind of crazy. But tell us, do you have any hobbies or hidden talents that we don't know?
Hobbies or hidden talents? I wouldn't call them hidden. I don't have many hobbies because my normal duty day is about 10 hours when we're not surging. And then I have 4 kids at home. So my children are my hobby. But I do have interests. I love playing the piano. And I have it's packed up right now because we're moving. But I have an electric keyboard, but it's weighted keys. So it plays like a real piano. And I got that when I first graduated from college. And I've moved it with me on all of our PCSs. And now my oldest 2 play piano. They actually had their lesson today. And we're going to get my 3rd into piano when we move. So that is a passion of mine. It's I don't know if I call it a hobby. I don't get to play all that much, but
are you super good?
No, I wouldn't say that. I can sit
Can
down.
you play like the Interstellar like theme song thing? You know what I'm talking
I
about?
play classical, so I
Okay.
don't know, but it's I'm not sure what that is.
Oh,
Maybe
the
if I had
movie
sheet
Interstellar
music.
where he's like, who's the actor?
So,
She's good at that stuff.
I
Come
am
on.
not good at that at all.
Interstellar, you gotta know Interstellar. It's
You
when
sing
he
it.
goes
What
on
does
the.
it sound like?
Oh, I don't know how it sounds like, but her sister knows how to play it.
Yeah.
And
it's
I
real
just
cool.
love hearing it
Yeah.
because like the score on that whole movie is
Yeah.
just they did a really good job of you be crying to the music and nothing be
Really?
happening.
Oh man.
Matt
Okay, got it.
yeah, he's like
I don't know if
he
I
goes
maybe
on
I have. I'm really bad at remembering movies.
he goes on like a mission to save Earth
Okay.
because the NASA has chosen him to re-enlist
Maybe I
or
have.
something like that. So
Yeah.
they have to go into this wormhole that appeared in Jupiter.
Yeah.
But the longer they're away, Earth time is moving faster. So I don't want to spoil it.
Yeah. Don't because I don't. Now I don't think I have seen it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but it's super
I don't
good.
get to watch
Like,
too many movies. So.
Yeah, I don't really watch movies over and over again, but that's a movie
You'll
I
watch
can
it again.
I can
Yeah, that's
definitely
fair.
watch it over again.
Yeah, I'm mostly classical, but my whole goal with that hobby
Mm-hmm.
is that if I am super high stress and I just need to decompress, I can go down because we kept it in our basement. We had a nice basement here. Go down the basement and just pull out some sheet music and just play. And I even have headphones too that I can put on and just kind of retreat into that.
That's
so.
really cool. I did not
Yeah.
know that. That's
Yeah, I don't
actually
know if
really
it's a
cool.
hidden talent, but
I think I mean piano is. I mean the piano I feel like is one of the hardest instruments to play.
yeah.
I mean even like just how I think guitar or something like that. I feel like saxophone. I mean, saxophone is still hard to master. I mean, I think every instrument is, but at least with the saxophone, you just have to worry about your embouchure and then just
Yeah.
pressing the buttons.
Yeah.
But with the keyboards, I don't know the combinations.
You would if you learned it, you'd be
Yeah.
fine. Yeah.
Maybe I'll take some time to learn it, but I think it's time we learn why and when you joined the military.
Okay. This is going to sound like such a lame reason.
No.
I've heard everybody gives really good reasons for joining. So honestly, like I said, my dad was Navy. I don't think I knew what I wanted to do when I grew up. When I was graduating from high school, I had the grades and the extracurriculars to get into college, and so I said, well, okay, that makes sense. That's the next step, right? So at that point, my parents were saying, hey, maybe you want to look into some scholarship options. We're not funding your full ride to school, so let's see what our options are. And I wanted to go to the University of Delaware because that's where my parents had gone. And my dad had actually suggested, he said, you can apply for an ROTC scholarship. And I said, well, what does that mean? I don't really want to be in the military. And, so then he kind of walks me through it. And he's like, you can apply to 2 of the 3 services at the time. You could either do Navy, Air Force, or Army. And I decided to apply for Navy and for Air Force. And so I got picked up for scholarships for both. And then I just had to choose. And it depends on what schools you get into and then what scholarships you get. So I got a 4-year scholarship through the Air Force, and I picked Air Force because they didn't have Navy at University of Delaware, and I was kind of stuck between I think it was Boston University and University of Delaware. And I decided to go closer to home, and where I was a legacy from my parents, and I had a great time in ROTC. I probably wasn't the best cadet. I was in a sorority. I was a biological science major. I wanted to be a doctor.
Can we ask what sorority?
Yeah, Kappa Alpha Theta.
Oh,
Yeah.
wait, are there colors pink, green?
Nope.
Oh, okay, I'm
No,
wrong.
no.
I thought I.
Yeah,
okay.
no, it's black and gold. So
Oh, okay.
Yeah. No, I really enjoyed my time in Theta. I mean, I'm still a Theta, but so I was kind of on that. I was in the laboratory until all hours of the night. I was going to socials with my sorority, and then
Do you still talk to your link?
to my link.
Oh,
Like my sorority sisters?
Yeah.
Yeah.
okay.
Still talk to them, yeah.
I mean, I almost joined one over whenever I was in
Oh,
college.
yeah.
But it just never worked out. And I had a close friend that was, he didn't like tell me what they were doing, but he just told me some terms. And
Okay,
Link is the
okay.
one that was right next to them the entire time.
Oh, gotcha. That
getting
kind of
into
took
it.
you through the process.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
I don't know if they use that term. I can't remember. It's been a very long time. But yeah, no,
but that's really cool.
Yeah, and you know, it's funny because you go through and to also make some money as well. I was managing a DP dough. It's like a calzone place. There's only they're usually only at college campuses. So I was working there, and yeah, I wasn't sleeping. I don't even know how. I don't sleep that much now, but I don't know how I got through college because you know, we had PT, you know, every day at like 5 in the morning or 6 in the morning, whatever it ended up being. I know it was early, and I didn't sleep all that much, so I wasn't a very enthusiastic cadet because I was always showing up to PT very, very tired and just wasn't all into
now
it.
we still be doing it now.
I know, right? But now I love it. I really enjoy it now.
I mean, yeah, I like it too. I mean, I know on PT days now, like, I don't know how I wake up, but I wake up.
Yeah.
And then, like, on non-PT days, it's not like I wait until the last second.
Yeah.
But I wait until the last second. That way I can show up at 6:45, a good time.
Yeah.
But on PT days, I'll wake up at 5, ready to go for some reason. I mean, I enjoy it. I mean, I like the running portions and stuff like that. Pop in the music, just jam.
Yeah.
Flow through the exercises.
There's something about all coming together and working out together that I think is it's nice.
Yeah.
It's nice. I didn't appreciate it when I was in college, so I can understand that a lot of our teammates don't appreciate it because at that age I did not appreciate it.
I think you can find some good moments. Like, I don't know if you were there when we were turning the tires and we were like carrying the. Were you there?
Yeah, the tire flipping. Yeah, I sure did.
Oh my gosh, me and Marcy had a fun time. Like, but it was just funny, and like honestly, that workout was just hard because I was laughing the entire time. So that was making me out of breath. But I mean, it was fun. So I could see the camaraderie that you're trying to build. It's not just, I mean, like you said before, it's like if you're depending on 2 PT a month, then you're probably, you know,
that's not good.
That's not what it's designed for. Right. So I can agree with that.
Yeah, so I got the scholarship at...
All right, shout out to our first technical difficulty live while we're recording the show. We're back, and we were just leaving off when you were talking about after you getting your scholarship and choosing Delaware.
Yeah, so I was really in the mentality that this was a really good career starter. I would do it for 4 years to pay back the scholarship, and then from there, I'd go and I'd get a civilian job.
Yeah.
And as I got further into ROTC, I kind of changed. Hey, maybe I want to be a physician's assistant. Maybe I want to apply to the military medical school and everything. And it didn't work out for me. They didn't have any slots for ROTC cadets at the time. So then I was a little disgruntled. And they told me, well, what do you want to put on your dream sheet for your jobs? And I said, well, I don't care, right? I don't care. I'm not going to do. I'm a biological science major, and now I'm not going to get to go pre-med or whatnot. And so I just don't care, right? And I had a really good mentor. We were talking about mentors earlier. I had a really good mentor. He's still in the Air Force, another logistics officer. And he just happened to be one of the cadre at the school at the time. So, any AFSC can do that, but he just happened to be the one who I was working for. And he said, well, you should really put down logistics. And, I was like, I don't, what is that, right? And he was like, well, it's, you know how trucks move stuff? And I was like, sure. And he's like, it's like that. And I was like, I don't want to be a truck driver. And he's like, it's not that. And I was like, fine. So I put that down as number 1. And just so happens that's what I got. And if you were to ask me now if I could go back and change my career, there's not for 1 second would I change it. That was absolutely the best decision I ever made, was putting down logistics as number 1. So
I think for mine, mine was like the 7th choice that I got.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I mean,
what did you want number 1?
I totally forgot. I think I don't know the name of the job anymore.
Yeah.
But he was telling me, because I scored pretty good on I tested when I was 23.
Yeah.
Or 24, like years after high school. So I had to brush up on some things that the ASVAB was talking about. But I scored pretty good to where I had almost all the jobs available for me to pick.
Yeah.
And so we went through it. There was one job, it was talking about like precise measurements and like, I don't know what. It wasn't like a load master, but like it was
female stuff.
I don't know. It was something. I don't want to say chemicals, but it was like something to where it was like you have to like do math and like I don't even know. And I was like, sure, that sounds fun, and it sounds challenging. Yeah. I put like weather on there. I was like, it'd be kind of cool to learn about that stuff. And then I put, I got like the lower score out of the 4 subjects. I got like in the mechanical one, the M or whatever. I got like the bare minimum 47 for the to be a mechanic.
And that's what they grabbed you for?
And that's
You're
what
like,
they grabbed me.
"That's it,
Well,
that's the
actually,
one."
that was my second contract.
Okay,
So I actually
okay.
got out of it. Like, I got out of a job. It's not a long story, but I mean, it was just unfortunate what happened. So I had to move out of my apartment because I could no longer own it.
Gotcha.
Sister helped out with, breaking the lease. So again, shout out Monica. They're always looking out for me.
Yeah.
And then I went back home. I helped a family member with their job. That didn't kind of work out. So, and this was peak COVID.
Yeah.
So I was like, it was 2020, and it was in the summer, and I got out of MEPS October 2019, still waiting for something.
Oh, no. Yeah.
And I remember I got my first contract available for, I think it was ammo.
Okay. Yeah.
And at the time, my goals were not to deploy or be overseas.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
And so the recruiter was nice. He was like, you could take this one, but these people go all over the place. I was like, okay, I appreciate you. And then I get, 2T3 next. And I was like, okay. I really try not to make the decision rush. Like,
Yeah.
I'm out of a job.
Yeah.
I don't want to get out of my mom's house. I got no money.
Yeah.
So I'm really not trying to make the decision based on like, I just need to get one of these and just
Right.
sign my name.
Right.
And I talked to my dad about it. He was like, it'd kind of be good for me to learn
Yeah.
that trade. And, I've definitely know a lot more than I, before I got into
Oh, yeah,
military.
I'm
So
sure.
I really do appreciate the time that I got to learn here.
Yeah.
So that's the one I chose. And then I shipped off in August, and
The rest is history.
shortly,
Yeah.
and now I'm here, and I'm overseas now. So
There
it's
you
like
go,
I
right?
talked to Rebecca. I was like,
Yeah.
hey, what do you think? Should I put down Ramstein, in the middle of Germany, even though we were planning just to stay States, and
Yeah.
now we're here. So
Yeah. And so how do you all feel now that you're expecting and you're overseas and you're away from family? What's the thoughts now?
she doesn't mind staying overseas. I said I'm going back to the States.
Oh, okay.
So I said, just give
Yeah.
me a little bit going back to States. I'm not saying like anything bad about Germany. I think Germany is an amazing place, and
Yeah.
anybody can take advantage of it. I just didn't do my part. So that's
Yeah.
not on Germany's fault. That's my fault.
Yeah.
But I just have a desire to kind of have a home. And I understand like the state, I'll still be moving in the States, but like I picture like a home, backyard, grilling in the backyard,
Yeah.
just,
There's nothing wrong with that.
yeah. So like, I just felt like I wanted that now. And like, if I have it for 3 years, maybe I'll get over it and be like, all right, let me do a short tour and let's keep it going. Cause
That's fair.
I don't know if I want to stay in just for 20. I might do a little bit more. I know somebody close that that was in for like, that's been in for 36 years. I don't want to name any names,
Yeah.
but he's but whenever I heard that at the lunch,
Yeah.
I was like, oh my gosh, 36. I'm not
Yeah.
gonna lie, I did kind of go on my pay or not my pay, but the pay chart.
Yeah.
I was like, let me see. I was like,
Who does that look like? Yeah.
I was like, oh my gosh. But anyway, what's one thing most people don't know about you
Oh goodness. Well,
other than piano?
Yeah,
we
right.
know that now.
Yeah. No, I try to share it with people because I like to be I think it makes it a little bit easier. I'm very much an introvert. I am very, very introverted. And I have a lot of social anxiety. So, and I have said that at different events where we've had a bunch of airmen together to talk, we do that weekly.
It doesn't seem like it,
And
honestly.
and that's usually what I get is people are like, nah, like you're always talking in front of people.
You keep it short and sweet. And like
I try to.
No, but it's like every word makes sense and everything you said just pieced well together, and then it was, I feel that way. I mean, when you list out your 3 B's, I know it's something different, and I was really trying to remember your 3 B's.
It's
Be
been a
humble.
while. Yeah.
And something, I think the last one
yeah,
is be ready. Or,
yeah. Be proud, be humble, be ready. That's my.
There you go.
Yeah, that's for promotion.
I was close.
There you go. Yeah, it's funny. I think you had mentioned something about that to Chief, and he had come in. He had talked to me about it, and Somebody did. There you go. There you go. And he was like, "What are your three Bs?" And I was like, "Oh man, I haven't talked about my three Bs in a while." And you know why that is? So part of, and this is funny. So you asked what's something that people don't know. Well, yeah, I have social anxiety. So being an introvert and having social anxiety, when I get up in front, because being in the position I'm in, you're constantly getting up in front of people and talking. So one of the ways that and maybe it's just me, maybe it's other people who have social anxiety too, is that you tend to read people's body language a lot because you're looking for feedback on is what I'm saying okay? Are people like annoyed by what I'm saying? Or
you're looking for eye contact because if people start dozing off,
right? But also people's nonverbals tell you a lot. So sometimes we'll leave those luncheons where we have everybody together to talk, and I just right off the bat I'm like, wow, that was terrible. The body language was just, they didn't want to hear me. They didn't want to talk to me, because people are very loud with their body language sometimes. So I was telling Chief that when we were going out and doing the individual promotions, and before we started doing the promotion ceremonies with the big group, I was saying the 3Bs so much that, the nonverbals I was getting from the group was
as soon
like,
as you started
stop it. Yes, stop. We're done with the 3Bs. We don't want to hear it anymore. But, I truly do believe that, right? So there's a big piece of it to say, hey, this is a promotion, whether it be, you're getting your first stripe or you're getting,
whether by time
stripe.
or actually earning it by, a test or something.
We all earn it, right?
Yeah.
So,
we're all sacrificing the time to earn it. And I think, your be proud has a good meaning to it. It's like it's good to feel proud of yourself and happy for yourself that you've come this far, just minus back 5 years, in the situation where the better, whether it was bad or good. Be proud that you're here now, and that you not to say that they didn't have a purpose before, but like you're actually doing something. You should be happy for that. And then be humble is also very important to follow up. Is don't carry too much pride to where you get over your head. Or just
know you didn't get there by yourself, right?
Yeah,
so I think that's a big part of it. The be proud is, there's so many things wrapped up in it, not just your own accomplishments, but be proud of the uniform you wear, be proud of the new rank you're wearing and what that represents. Be proud of everything that you've done. But then the be humble following that is really about, like, yes, be in that pride and celebrate yourself and what you've done, but also celebrate the team that's brought you where you are, right? And recognize that we don't get anywhere by ourselves. The accomplishments that you have are because of the people around you, and that's not just in the office, but it's also at home, and it's also the people who raised you and everything else, right? So, and then the be ready is just
because you gotta step up.
You have to step up, right? Every time. Maybe in other jobs you don't, but when in the Air Force,
I'm actually feeling the effects of being ready and stepping into that new role. I think I didn't think it would come so fast. I mean, it's good for me. It's good for me to learn.
So what's changed in your mentality?
I think I'm caring about more of the younger enlisted below me. Yeah. Because I know the things I wanted to achieve and kind of missed. And I'm just really always trying to give them pointers. I mean, ultimately, I can't walk them there. Yeah. But I'm always giving them pointers. I think this is a good example. I won't say any names, and it's not that bad, but there was somebody who was showing up late a few times. I mean, we're not talking about hours late. Yeah. But, I'm showing up on time. My first internal reaction was like, man, this guy needs to be punished and whatnot. I'm over here showing up early. Yeah. Why is... But I kind of approached it different, so I took a slight second to rethink it, and I pulled that airman to the side, and I was like, hey man, how's everything going? You okay? He said, yeah, and I was like, are you just not getting enough sleep? Like, are you sleeping late? He was like, no, I'm sleeping, but I'm just not getting good enough sleep or something like that. Yeah. And I was like, oh, call medical or something, get that checked up, because the stress, especially here on Ramstein, it could kind of get to you and kind of mess with you. So and I know medical can help with that, with something, with studies and whatnot. So I think that, I don't know if I would have acted like that before. I probably would have, but now that I've stepped into a bigger role, I kind of was like, let me
You got more
help my
responsibility
supervisors
now.
and kind of first at hand, let me figure out what,
Yeah.
what, instead of taking it at face value, let me
Yep.
see if there's something deeper going on here. So
Yeah.
I didn't do that ever before. So
That's
I'm
a big
glad.
thing that I have to keep in mind, and that I talk to, the flight leadership and everything in my position to think about, there with, especially with our team, there are not, for the most part, they're not bad airmen. And that's big A airmen. So people who serve, right? But the missteps that we do, whether it's being late or making a mistake or getting in trouble or whatnot, those are normally symptoms of something else, right? So I like that you've got the Start with Why book. So what you were doing was listening and starting with why.
Yeah,
So
I did.
what was the reasoning behind this member being late, and then the be ready piece and stepping into that new role and understanding that now you are accountable for other people and not just yourself, right? So and that starts at a peer leadership level where you feel a sense of responsibility for your teammates to bring them along with you, right, in the right direction. So if you see somebody that's kind of going the wrong way and you need to give them a vector check, even when you're not in an authority position over somebody, you can still say, hey, come with me, let's go do this way, right? Instead of allowing them to just say, hey, that's not my problem, I've got myself to worry about. You feel like you have a responsibility for those around you, and that's when we talk about peer leadership. When we see that, we see those people that are taking other individuals that might be at the same level as them, laterally, and just taking them under their wings and walking with them and saying, yeah, you seem like you're struggling a little bit because of whatever. Come with me, I'll show you the right way to do it, right?
Yeah, I think that's really important what she, I mean, I'm going to skip one of the subjects here because I feel like this is a good kind of transition point to leading in, like, the main topic we're talking about is leadership. So here's my little transition question. Do you think when it comes to leadership, a person is just born with it, or can it be learned?
Oh, goodness. That's a tough question.
Or it could be both.
Whew. Yeah, I do think that there are people that are more driven to lead. Yeah, that's tough because you do hear people talking about kids that have just this born drive to stand out in front of everybody and kind of direct the crowd, right? Who are just born like they want to manage what's going on around them and categorize and tell people what to do and that kind of thing. Now is that leadership? I don't know. I don't know if people have this innate drive to lead. I definitely think it can be taught. 100% think it can be taught. And I think one of the biggest ways that we learn how to lead is by learning about ourselves and taking a step into, why do I do the things I do? And let's peel back that onion and understand myself and the way that I act and, the way that, I want to, the culture that I want to perpetuate and everything else. And then understanding, as you build out, as you stay in for longer and you build out this kind of leadership philosophy. And not everybody has like a written leadership philosophy, but most people have the standards that they lead by, right? And if you ask them for their, what do they call it, your elevator pitch, right? On what you stand for as a leader, they'll be able to tell you, what your elevator pitch is, on being a leader. But yeah, I don't know. I definitely think that you can learn how to lead better. Maybe there's a gene for leadership out there that sets people apart.
I'd say that because there was one time, it was my last job, one of my last jobs before I got, into the military, Buc-ee's. I remember one of my supervisors, honestly, I got good at my job.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, I'm not saying it wasn't as complex as changing, as working on vehicles.
Yeah.
Usually if there was a problem, usually the same solution to solve it the last time is the same solution this time. So that's why I got really good at it. And I got put in somewhat a leadership position. What it was is at the Texas Roundup in the middle of the Buc-ee's shop. We're serving barbecue.
Okay.
And usually there's the sandwich makers, the runners, and then there's the guy in the middle cutting all the meat.
Okay.
And kind of directing like, hey, I'm going to need another, and just kind of like directing you're running the show.
Yeah.
And I got put in there almost every day. So there was a schedule when you walk in, put your fingerprint in, and you hear a little beep. It's got the schedule of where everyone's going to be out that day. Yeah. At some point, I didn't even look at it no more. I knew where I was going to be. Yeah. And it was right in the middle. And I think it got to me after, because I worked there about maybe 2.5 years, maybe 2.5 years. It was a long time. And I'm gonna be honest, that was like the one job that I stayed consistent at.
Yeah.
But there was a point in time where the stress got to me and I exploded.
Yeah.
I mean, not only did we wear these aprons that were jeans, so the weight, I was like cutting
seriously.
brisket in my neck. That's probably why I'm sitting like that right now to
Yeah,
this
right.
day.
I know. I keep reminding myself of my posture. Sit up. Sit up.
Yeah, I hear it from Rebecca all the time. She's watching. She's like, "Why are you sitting like that?" I'm like, "I don't know.
My posture's
I'll try to
terrible,
remember
too.
that last time." And then like the first 5 minutes, I'm doing so
slump
good. I'm like
back.
this,
Yeah.
and then as we,
I know.
but he pulled me aside. He said, "Renee, like, you have it, but you're missing that one thing that's leading you into that management position."
Interesting.
And I want to say I know what he was talking about to this day, because I think I solved it or at least got better at it.
Yeah.
But patience in a way.
Patience. Yeah.
Because like,
Yeah.
or like, because I let the stress build up, and then I just exploded on everybody.
Yeah.
And so
So
like,
tact, right? That's
yeah.
a big one too.
so I
Yeah.
think that's what I didn't do a good job of holding that in
Yeah.
just a little bit longer to do that somewhere else, wherever appropriate that would have been.
Yeah. Yes, you're rolling into like an emotional intelligence type thing. So there's emotional immaturity and emotional immaturity, emotional maturity, right? So that has to do with processing emotions like that, so that it doesn't come out at other people, right?
Yeah.
So
are you
that's
talking about
what-
the 5 witches? Or?
No. I just
Because I literally landed on
Yeah.
that exact spot
Yeah,
where
yeah.
it's like, I forgot, they were talking about the 5 voices, and they were saying this person, like, if you trigger these,
Yeah.
like they'll turn into the Hulk, and like I'm like,
Yeah.
I was like, that's crazy how that landed. Like that was my, when I took the
Yeah.
quiz, that was actually mine. It was a subcategory
Right.
of like, it was imaginative voice with
Yeah.
a little bit of, I think it was like I don't know the word.
Like is it creative? And I've taken
Oh,
a lot of
creative
person.
and-
I think
and
a
then
creative
something
was one
else.
of those. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's that. So back to what I was saying.
Yeah.
Becoming a better leader and learning how to become a leader, you have to learn about yourself, right?
Yeah.
So you realize the way that you react to the environment around you, and then you can say, okay, all right, so now I know how I am and why I am the way that I am. And so one, you don't blame yourself for the way that you act, right? But then you can also put tools in place to stop yourself from, exploding, right? Because you already know that that's going to come when you get high stress, that you can kind of reel it in a little bit.
Yeah.
But now, so what you were talking about with Bucky's, right? Is that what
Yeah,
it is?
Bucky's.
Yeah,
But
Bucky's.
a quick shout out.
Yeah.
She is a great support. Thank you for listening to the stuff I go through. I mean, I try to make it quick when I get home. That way it's not affecting our home space.
Of course.
But, she really helps,
Oh, yeah.
get some of that out. That's
Yeah.
probably why it don't happen as much at the job.
Mm-hmm.
And I
Yeah.
think that's important. But, I
It
mean,
sounds
it happens.
like you were a very, very good manager. Managers manage things, leaders lead people, right?
Yeah.
So, and maybe that's what your manager was talking about. Now I get the positions called, management or whatnot,
Yeah.
but it sounds like you were really good at handling the tasks and solving problems. But when it came to leading people, that's where he was saying, hey, you need to work on your communication skills, right? Yeah, and that's a
really
big
good.
one. That's one of the
Thank you.
hardest things for leadership, right?
Yeah, thank you for that. Like
I
that
don't
was
know if
really
that helped at all, but-
that was really good, because I don't think I knew what he was talking about, but I'm pretty sure
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
what he was talking about.
Yeah, that communication
that's
is one of the
what was
hardest
happening.
things. Yeah, it really is. And we actually just did a poll with our luncheons, and we asked different groups, different tiers, what is the hardest thing about leadership? Because I was very interested. I've been doing a lot of reflecting as I'm about to change out, and reflecting on my time, and did I do a good job, and to myself, how would I grade myself, and what's been the hardest thing while I've been in this position and everything else. And so I was like, well, I wonder what my teammates would say is the hardest part about leadership, right? As I'm thinking about what is the hardest part about leading. And the communication came up again and again and again. Yeah. Communication is so hard. And all the different, not everybody said communication specifically, but they said being tactful, not being patient, not exploding on somebody when you give them a job to do and the right way to do it and they're doing it wrong, but maybe they're going to get to the same solution, but they're just not doing it the way that you want to do. And just being patient, it's taking 10 times longer, but allowing them to work to the solution, because
it grows them.
Good leaders build the people to replace them, right? So if you're always doing stuff for somebody, it might not be the way you do it, but you have to lead yourself out of a job, right? You want them to replace you. You want to grow the best people behind you that you possibly can, because it makes the team better. So, but patience is a big part of that, right?
Exactly. I know that was tough for me when I was in the last year position. I felt like if I didn't do it, it wasn't going to get done. And I was like, I stressed myself out. I got a couple more gray hairs.
Oh gosh, I'm completely gray. Don't even talk to me about that.
So you already mentioned the Start With Why.
Yeah,
I like
Simon
the book.
Sinek. It's good.
I like the book. I feel like at sometimes it catered towards maybe an entrepreneur who wanted to start a business, but it also had some good like history that it kind of matched up with, you know, philosophers or like people who thought a certain way and who were just like, I mean, Dr. Luther King, like he talked about him of like he knew the why. So people attached to that, and then it just went on from there, and that's how he got a followers from leading in that way. So they talked. One thing I have quite a bit of notes. I didn't want to write in your book. I stuck some.
Hey, that book's yours now.
Okay, cool. I was actually going to ask you. I mean,
keep it.
Wait a minute.
Yeah.
Does it have?
I know I stamped it. That's it.
No,
you can't sell it on eBay. I didn't stamp that one. Oh man.
Oh
that's
man,
definitely yours.
I don't have the stamp now.
Well, it's definitely yours.
I thought the biggest takeaway, because he said why like 1,000 times. Yeah. Capitalized.
Yes.
And it began when he started talking about the golden circle, the why, the why, how, what, and the importance of moving outwards from the golden circle rather than starting, inwards, working your way towards the why.
Yeah.
I didn't note it down, but I don't know if you remember that Apple one that he talked about whenever he's like, imagine if Apple started with the what, how, and then the why.
Yeah.
Man, I shouldn't bring that up because I don't think I'm going to find it, but
I think his point on
actually,
and now
here.
It's been a bit since I read it, but his point on Apple had to do with, it was the why was it was something for the people, right?
Yeah,
that was the whole thing. It was supposed to be about the people. It was a movement.
Yeah.
So it didn't matter if it was an iMac or an iPhone or an iPod.
Yeah, they changed it from Apple computers.
Yeah.
They changed it from Apple.
People would follow them. Didn't even matter if it was the best product on the market. They'd follow them, right? Did you have a quote you wanted to read or something?
Well, here's the sales pitch. So
Okay.
there's two different sales pitches, and this is the one if you were working from the what, how, and why.
Okay.
He says, we make great computers. They're beautifully designed, simple to use, and user-friendly. Want to buy one. And then as you go down, they said, this is how Apple actually communicates. This time, the example starts with why. It says, everything we do, we believe in challenging the status quo. We believe in thinking differently. The way we challenge the status quo is by making our products beautifully designed, simple to use, and user-friendly. And we just happen to make great computers. Want to buy one. I was like, I mean, if you can compare the two, it's totally different.
Yeah.
But I think I have a couple quotes that I did like, but there's some quotes that I didn't. I want to ask you a question first.
Okay.
What's your why when it comes to your job and lifestyle?
Man.
And I think I wanted to follow up with the quote. Did I? Oh, this one. Why is just a belief? How are the actions we take to realize that belief, and what are the results of those actions? When all three are in balance, trust is built and value is perceived.
Yeah. So, I never really this is going to be off the cuff because I never really penned down it sounds terrible because I pitched the book, right?
I mean, I don't have mine yet. I mean, I do, but I would be nervous in your situation.
Yeah. Oh, thanks a lot.
I'm sorry.
No, there's a whole book that I actually have in front of my office right now that it's Finding Your Why. So there's a whole
it's
workbook.
the same guy.
Yeah, yeah.
I was just about to suggest that.
Yep.
It's blue letters.
Yep. So it's in front of my. If you want to borrow a copy of that too, you can borrow it. It's right out on my bookshelf. So So there's a whole workbook that you can go through to find your why, right?
Oh, I didn't know
for
it.
your organization. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So it'll step you through a bunch of exercises, and it should lead you to your why. And you can do it in small group settings. You can do it in large group settings. I think they have like a number that's limited, that limits how many people you should have that you do it with. But So what's my why for the team? We're gonna get sirens in the background there.
Oh, snap. I'm just kidding. No, you're good. You're good.
Okay, cool. So really my focus has always been on, it's kind of twofold, right? So for the first part of it is, the why behind it is that I want a team that is happy to come to work, right? So that's a big one about when we talk about developing our big A airmen personally and professionally, right? So I really do truly want the team to feel like a family when they show up, right? So I've been in jobs where I've dreaded showing up to work.
Yeah, they talk about that in the book about like
it's miserable.
It's like if your employees are working in a crappy place that you set before them, then
and they don't believe in it, right?
Yeah, and then they're gonna treat the customers like crap, and they're just
Yeah.
like, it's not good.
Yeah, exactly. So if we can work on the culture and build a culture that is welcoming and that takes care of each other and that always makes sure to kind of focus and so I'll go to explain this a little bit more. I'll go into what my leadership philosophy is, if that's okay.
Mm-hmm.
So the decisions that I make in that regard to wanting to take care of the people because the people take care of the mission, right? I focus decisions that I make I call it through my lens, and it's
That's what he brought up too.
It's super lame. Yeah. But so this is something I've developed over, it wasn't just for this position, but I've developed it over a few years, and it gets at, keeping me true to my morals and what I care about and in the best way that I can serve my team that I'm leading, right? So the lens is just an acronym, right? So the first one is listen. So listening to me is extremely important. So, everybody says they have an open door policy. I try to be as open as possible. Whenever my door's open, people can walk in and they do all day, every day, right? It's honestly one of the reasons that I don't sit down at my desk. I stand all the time because I've got people constantly coming in, and I like to be able to be engaging. I stand up when people come to my office and to talk to them. I don't talk to people from a seated position, so I just stand all the time. It just worked for me. I have a standing desk.
Yeah.
So if, I always tell people if they're asking for my opinion, if somebody comes to your office and asks for your ear, if you can, if it's possible for you to sit down and listen to them, please do, because it takes a lot for us to go and ask somebody to listen to us, right? So I try the best possible to give people the time of day if they come to my office and want to have a conversation. Yeah.
Can I guess your E?
What do you think it is?
I think it's engage.
No.
Oh,
So
dang. That would have been a good follow.
Yeah, I know, right?
No.
My E is I was kind of mad at my acronym for this. So it's excite. So or energize. You can use either of those, but it gets to motivate. So that's my start with why. That's how I go to how do you motivate people? How do you figure out what motivates them? And the big thing I talk about with that is that I'm a motivate with love. You can talk about motivating with fear or love. So there's a carrot or stick, right?
Yeah.
So I'm always trying to figure out what is I'd rather not say, hey, don't do that or this will happen, right? That's a stick motivation.
I mean, he was saying like it works.
Yeah.
But it's like, but at what cost?
Yeah. And then you lose some trust too, right? If somebody says, come and talk to me, I'll listen to what's going on. I'll listen to what's happening so that we can work on this symptom. That you're in to talk to me about, right? Because there's accountability with it too. And that doesn't mean that you sit down, you listen to people and you're so soft that they just get one over on you and they walk out the door scot-free, right? Yeah. There's accountability that comes with it. But how can I hold people accountable if I don't understand what I'm holding them accountable for? If you continue to punish a symptom and you're not dealing with what's going on with that person, then you're never going to fix the situation. It's just going to keep happening or get worse, right? Yeah. Or they're going to mask it with something else, and maybe you won't hear about what's going on, right? So if you really do care about the person, then you need to listen to them. figure out what motivates them. So, I wish I could do it with everybody, but all of the senior NCOs and up who come into our team, they sit with me for about an hour, and I've got a whole list of questions that I ask them. And they sound kind of weird. Like the first question is like, when you were 10 years old, what do you want to be when you grew up, right? And they're like, why is she asking me this, right? I'm like, just bear with me, right?
Yeah. I think that's like a speech tactic to It's the attention getter.
Yeah. But it also gets them to tell me, because it's never just like, I want to be a veterinarian, right? They go into, well, this is what I wanted to do. Well, why'd you want to do that, right? I feel like a therapist sometimes, but well, why'd you want to do that? And then they kind of talk about that. And then, so when did it switch? And when did you, because most people don't say, well, when I was a kid, I wanted to be in the Air Force. Some people do, but not everybody, right?
Yeah.
So then you're learning about what motivates them. And then one of the other questions I ask is, what is the most cherished thing in your life? And, a lot of people will say different family members or whatnot. And I ask, or they'll say material items, but that tells you a lot about what motivates the person, right? And what they cherish in their life and what's most important to them.
Yeah.
And then I'll ask, who is your greatest influence or your hero in your life, however you would, say that, right? And then talks to who they idolize and who they want to be and, where their aspirations are, right? Because some people say different sports icons or artists. Or or my dad or, right. Yeah. So there's different answers that come with that. So that gets after the motivation piece. So the E, I wish it was an M for motivate, but it's energize, excite, whatever that is. So yeah, right. So listen, energize, and then the N is networking. Networking is so incredibly important. So I'm a connector voice. I am not the idea person. I'm the person that if you come to me and you say, hey, I want to start a podcast, I say, hey, well, have you talked to this person and this person? Because I think they might have the stuff that you need to get started with that, right? So I'm a connector. Yeah. Yeah, let me link you up with these other people.
It's a good guide,
Yeah, I want people to build those bridges, and I'm constantly looking for ways to empower people by building those bridges between their counterparts in other organizations, their peers within their organization. Build every bridge that you can possibly build and never burn them. Even the people that make you really angry, don't burn the bridge, because you never know when you're going to have to use that again, right? Or you'll have to lean on that person, or that something crazy might happen and you might be there with that person on that TDY or that deployment or you might PCS into a base and that's the person who's your sponsor, right? Yeah. Don't ever burn those bridges, just build them. Networking's huge.
Yeah. I'm not saying I was connected to my squadron, but I was very engaged in it last year.
Yeah.
And I was wanting to do it again in a smaller way. I actually applied to, while I was submitting my paperwork to be the treasurer, nothing too big, just to kind of just guide them, and I'll be on the team. I'll tell you all the do's and don'ts and what didn't work out and why it didn't work out.
Learned. Yeah.
Then I ran into Parham, and I told him about it a little bit, and then he was like, "You should probably get with the first four."
Yeah.
I was like, okay, I'll look at that. And he told me just told me to branch out, see what else is out there, grow. And I was like, okay, I'll take a look.
That's good advice.
All the positions were already full, like the main 4 seats. But deep down I was like, well, I'm still gonna check it out. So they were looking for other committee leads. And when I submitted my application, I was like, well, I still want to lead something, but what can I lead? I'm not interested in professional development or outreach, membership outreach. Like, I don't want to go to commander calls and other squadrons and talk about the KMC First Four, because I'm going to be honest, I don't know how many people we'd get. Yeah. And I'll just be that guy who's just talking and talking.
Yeah. Hey, I feel you on that.
And so I was like, that wasn't mine. Yeah. And so I was like, I wrote down, my desire for this group is to start a podcast and represent the First Four and represent the airmen and all in KMC. Yeah. And that was December. Yeah. And then January, I mean, here I am. And so, I mean, I think Parham, I told him before he went, I kind of miss his going away party and stuff because I was dealing with stuff. Yeah. But I told him, I was like, I'm not saying you're getting all the credit, obviously, but I want you to know, if it wasn't for your push, this podcast, I wouldn't be on episode 9 right now. Yes. And I want you to know that. And I don't want you to feel like, like I said, I'm giving you all the credit and that it's all yours, but I need you to know the impact you made on an airman.
That's good feedback for leaders too.
And that's why I did that.
Yeah.
And because I know I love to hear that stuff, and that catapults me even further.
Yeah.
So I wanted to tell him that, so next time he doesn't hesitate to tell the next airman, because he's seen what he did, and I just wanted to tell him. I mean, it was important to see his impact, so that's why I told him.
No, that's great.
Yeah, and he was really happy to hear it, and he told me, he was like, "But that's all you," and I'm like, I know, me and my team are working it and stuff, but I'm telling you, I wouldn't have done this if you didn't push me.
It's weird the way that the chips kind of fall, right? Yeah, that's neat.
So S.
Yeah, S, storytell. Storytell is huge. I mean, in multiple ways, right? There's different ways that we storytell. So one, just like you did today, is asking my story. How did I come into the Air Force, right? From somebody who just wanted to do 4 years to now working on year 16. So that storytelling is really big to understand where people come from and in their background and how they were raised or what's important to them, all that kind of stuff, right? So that's an individual story. But then there's also a team story, right? And that's at all different levels. So our sections have stories, our flights have stories, the squadron has story, the base has a story. But then on like a broader sense, when I look at my leadership role in storytelling, it's to make sure that that our team is always, the story is out there, we're relevant. Everybody on this base knows what our team is doing positive every single day and how they impact. And then the flip side of that is making sure the team knows their own story and understands the impact they're having. So yeah, really, I think storytelling is a really big thing, and a lot of times that's where we forget to circle back and say, hey, maybe you should get that briefing that tells you kind of behind the scenes, the stuff the intel squadron's looking at and exactly what your impact was. Because, sometimes when you're, turning wrenches or cooking in the DFAC or whatever your job is, right, you forget that it's not just an impact on that one meal you serve or that one vehicle you turn out, but there is a bigger impact that we have here. There's a reason why we are here in Germany right now. And it reaches way past just that day-to-day churn that you go through.
Yeah,
so.
you see it closer than the others, so that's why you constantly trying to tell others about what we're doing to keep them going. And that's, I mean, I love to hear that stuff. I can't speak for everybody, of course, but I mean, of course that's gonna make me that's, like I said, whenever I was out of college at home, I just felt like I was like, what am I doing? Like I'm 6 more years and I'll be 30.
Yeah, what's my impact on the world, right?
And so now that I'm here, I remember I made this small little joke while I was on the phone with FaceTime with my family. It was on, I think it was on Memorial Day, or I don't know. I think it was on Memorial Day. I don't know when it was. Dang. Okay, I think it was Memorial Day, but I mean, we had a 4-day weekend, so I was having fun chilling. And I remember they were all in the living room, and then my goodbye was like, I hope y'all enjoy y'all's freedom or something. It was like I don't know, it was like a had to be there moment, but it was like everybody started laughing. Like I said it jokingly, like, well, I'm gonna go back doing my thing all the way over here serving.
You're welcome. Right?
You're welcome. Enjoy your freedom. And then they all started laughing, and then we kind of hung up. But like, that's the stuff that like I do think about. I was like, like I'm glad that my parents and my family and everyone who knows what I'm doing is like, I mean, I don't even tell them the impact. They're like, you're doing.
See it in the news.
Yeah, right? They're like so happy regardless of knowing the impact or not. So.
Yeah. It does get back to, when we're talking about what's your why and how do you want to drive a culture in the unit to, for everybody feel like they're part of the team and they have an impact and everything. Yeah. I mean, that's a big part of it, to create a sense of pride within the team. So if I can, yell from the rafters, the VR, sorry, I guess I'm not supposed to use it.
No, you're good.
Our team is great, and we're doing amazing things every day, and look what we can do, right?
Yeah.
Then anytime one of our teammates is trying to get, a package pushed through or to go off and do a special duty or whatnot, our brand, our patch, our name is already seen in such positive light that, because of that teammate has a step up above everybody else already, right? Because the reputation's out there, and we should all be proud of that reputation, that we have such a positive reputation. And that was one of my main goals, and one of the things I was driving towards was to make sure that we had this flawless reputation. And I mean, I didn't do that, but I can tell the story about everybody else and the great work they're doing. And if you never circle back around and tell the story, then all that work just kind of happens, and then
it never gets told.
Yeah, and then somebody else gets credit for it, right?
Yeah,
so, yeah,
absolutely.
I know I kind of went off topic, but
no, you're good.
That's how I focus my decisions, and yeah, it seems kind of lame, but
no, I think it's important, because those who are desiring, I mean, we're gonna be put in those leadership positions. All the junior enlisted who want to stay in and want to test to that next step.
Yeah, like
these are stuff that we have to adapt to and learn, because it's very important, because we're gonna be, humans, are gonna be depending on us.
Oh yeah.
And young 18-year-olds and maybe a airman basic 35-year-old, whatever it may be.
Yeah, that happens too.
And so
yeah.
I think it's very important that you're giving your ways of doing it that's working. Maybe somebody can adapt it to their own ways, change it up a little bit, or maybe just adopt your way and it works for them too. So I think anybody who's listening right now, who is desiring to be that great leader, a good influencer, anything that you can say, even if it's just one person, like it matters.
No, it's good. That just reminded me, probably the best advice I ever got was when I was in a course to take this position, and there's a senior leader who got up in front of us, and they're training us to be in the position I'm in, right? And the first thing that he said was, not everybody leads the same, and you don't have to lead like me or lead like them. You can be an introverted leader. And I'd never had anybody say that to me before. And I was like, oh. Because, all this time I had been kind of pretending, I can be the extrovert. And then when you get home, you're exhausted. But then it was almost like being given permission from a senior leader to say, you're allowed to be uncomfortable, in front of people. You're allowed to be drained by being in front and going out and engaging with people. That's okay, because not everybody leads the same way, and not everybody has the same personality traits, right? So what you just said was, people are going to take little pieces of what you learn from your mentors, maybe stuff from the people that aren't really good leaders that you've served under, and you're going to build your own philosophy
and take
based
the opposite
off of
that.
Yeah, exactly.
So,
for the negative ones, definitely the opposite of what. But and you're going to build your own philosophy based off of how you operate, right? So mine works for me, but it doesn't work for everybody.
Lean on kind of the people that you're close to in your work area that are kind of on the same level as you to kind of get a feedback of is there anything that and
feedback is so important,
open to criticism like that. So I think we pretty much covered a lot of this topic within that one question, which is good. I think I want to ask you maybe 2 more questions from this one. I did ask some good ones. Actually, I'm going to ask you one more, and then I'm going to follow up with a quote I wrote in the book.
Okay.
How many situations do you find yourself in making on-the-spot decisions as a leader?
Gosh.
Can you give any examples? I understand if you don't want to be too detailed, but you can even just say, like, on a daily, how many times do you have to do that?
Man.
And then the quote that I liked is, when faced with a result that doesn't go according to plan, a series of perfectly effective short-term tactics are used until the desired outcome is achieved. So as leaders, influencers, we come into times where it's like something happens last minute. Now you got to do X, Y, and Z to get it done. How do you kind of feel in that process? Do you go in there 100% like, I'm going to make it happen, whether it happens or not, do my best?
Okay, so a couple things. First off, I will say that in my position, I do not make decisions by myself. Right? Never. That would be real silly.
Yeah.
So we talk about the triad a lot, but I've got that SEL position, I've got that shirt position for a reason, and I lean on them, and not just them. I have my supervisors, I've got my mentors. So if they're really hard decisions that are coming to me, of course, I lean on them to help me.
Yeah.
So how many times do I have decisions that come to me,
or even
that
as
pop up?
Since you say you don't make decisions by yourself, or just amongst the people who are making that decision
multiple times a day. I mean, it's funny that you throw out numbers. One of the other commanders had done a tally and said, in this position, you sign about 20,000 documents in 2 years, right? So a lot of those, I mean, some of them are you just signing decorations and whatnot. And you review them, but it's not really a decision, right? Yeah. But a lot of those are decisions about people's lives. So, every day there's a decision about somebody's life that comes forward, whether it be a reenlistment or somebody who's trying to apply for a special program or
somebody who gets in trouble.
DRS extension. Yeah. So those are probably the hardest, and I say those are the hardest, because that whatever decision you make is going to have a drastic impact on somebody's life, right?
And not only that, everyone else in a way. So.
Yeah. So it impacts the team, it impacts the member, it impacts the member's family. It's not just about that one incident, that one person, right? So those are hard, but those are not quick decisions. I will tell you that those ones take, there's not only is a triad involved in that, but legal's involved in that, and there's discussions, and we talk to the member, we go through the lens, right? We talk to the member, we figure out what's going on, all that kind of stuff. So there's a whole calculus that goes into those things. But then when things that come to us that feel urgent, right? That need a decision, we're being tasked to do this, that, or the other. It has to go now, right? Or it's a weekend thing that pops up. So one of the things that was taught to me in a previous job, and that I really appreciate learning and trying to work on myself too, is to be a responder and not a reactor. So, somebody throws a grenade into the office, not a real grenade, but big problem, right? Somebody throws it into the office. So you can match that energy and be like, oh my gosh, what are we going to do? And get out of control emotional, right? So that's an emotional reaction to something. Or get angry, or, yell or pound the table, or, whatever, right? Or you can receive the information and you can be thoughtful and respond to it, right? So I think of when you get an email that really ticks you off and you want to respond back emotionally angry, right? You write that angry email, that's a reaction, right? So then you delete that email because it's not professional. And then you write out your thoughtful response, right? That has tact, that has the patience. You can start
that last email with, as per my last email.
Yeah, or with all due respect, right? With all due respect, But you think about, okay, so what's the intent of what we're getting at here? So what I've done to people who bring grenades into my office is we kind of peel back the onion a bit and we say, okay, let's name the problem statement, right? So let's figure out what the actual problem is, right? Because you hear stuff and it's brought to you with this energy that's up here, and you're like, this seems really important, and we're all up here, and we need to make a decision right now. But
can I ask a follow-up question that could probably tie into this stuff? What are your thoughts on the statement, "You can't please everyone"?
Oh, no, you definitely can't please everyone.
How do you accept that fact?
How do I accept it?
Because I think that really messes with leaders. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off, but I felt like in this decision making that you're doing with the triad or whatever with the grenade metaphor. I feel like in making these decisions, you have to accept some people aren't gonna like this. Some people are gonna like this. Some people are gonna not care, and so it's how do you?
Yeah, you have to. It takes a little humility. It's not about you. It's not about you. You are a figurehead sitting in a position. So you make a lot of decisions, but you are replaceable. If I get hit by a bus, I'm replaceable tomorrow. I'm not the organization. So I'm going to make a lot of decisions. I'm going to sign a lot of documents. I'm going to make a lot of choices. I hope that it's in the best interest of the majority, right? But there's always going to be somebody who's angry, and you have to laugh at it after a while because you make a decision to do PT outside because people said that they were too stuffy inside, and then people complain it's too cold outside, and then they want it in the afternoon, so you move it in the afternoon. But then they complain it's too hot in the afternoon, they're too tired, so then you move it into the morning, and then people complain that they can't get out of bed that early, right? Because we're individuals,
when a party
right?
in the shop. they wanted out the shop, but
right.
most people voted for the shop. So
Right,
I was
exactly.
like, wait a minute, what happened?
Yeah, so we're going to have disagreements because we are a diverse group of people who grew up differently, who have different opinions.
So I think that's what
right?
leaders need to be prepared for and like understand. Like, and I think I've gotten some peer, like not peers, but supervisors have talked to me about that. They were like, whenever was in a position to make decisions, they're like, you're not going to please everyone.
Yeah.
So make your decision to the best of your ability and, you know, you live with it. Own it.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's you're not going to please everybody, and not everybody's going to like you. I'm sure there's people who really don't like me in the position I'm in, and I have to be okay with that, right? You know, it's not a popularity contest. I would hope that most people are happy with the choices that I make, but at the end of the day, if they're not, then, you know, I have to be comfortable in saying, you know, I am staying in line with my morals, and I'm making decisions that I think are the best for the team, and I will take that feedback. And I actually encourage the negative feedback. When people say, why did you do this? Why did you do that? I love it because it gives me a chance to say, I might have been wrong in that decision, but can I walk you through how I made that process, right? The decision-making process? And maybe you'll understand my perspective. You might not like it still.
You have to be calculated. And
there's usually a reason. There's a method behind the madness of the choices. I don't just willy-nilly make choices about things, right, or decisions. Usually there's a reason behind it. You know, people talk about the leave and travel policy, and they get angry about that. But let me walk you through. You might not agree with it still, but this is why.
Rebecca, she actually went to a promotion ceremony. I think it was in December, or when was it? Remember they asked her a question on stage asking like, now that we're moving into warmer summers, can we look about what she said? She laughed at your response because she was like, "Oh, she shuts them down." What do you remember the response?
I mean, I think you just said, "No, I like it in the mornings."
Yeah. Oh yeah, it was PT, wasn't it? Yeah.
Oh,
can we think about moving into the afternoons? Yeah. And I was like, no, I don't think we're gonna do that.
Yeah, and she just found that so funny. I was like, it was like, no, I like it in the mornings. Next question. Anybody else?
But it goes back to it that I know that I'm not gonna make everybody happy with PT, right? And it's, you know, and I used to joke too that, you know, if everybody's there in the morning and they're all like huddled together before warm up,
that's what we were not doing correctly.
Right,
we weren't all cuddling.
Cuddled together. And now if everybody's angry and
some
they're
people be showing up with no jacket,
shorts and t-shirt. I'm like, of course you're cold. You're not even dressed appropriately. But
no, they weren't even phased.
Fair. Maybe they moved here from
where are you from? Because that is crazy.
But if everybody's frustrated about it and they're complaining about it together, hey, I'm like, look, that's a win for me. You're all on the same team and you're all talking together and you're all laughing about it. Fine.
Well,
if it's aimed at me, that's fine. I'm okay with that because it's not about me, right? If my goal, if the intent of my tour here is to bring the team together and take care of them, if the team is brought together, even if it's against me, I'm okay with that. You know, I say that a bit in jest, but you know, if it's something like PT, that's okay. If you guys are all laughing and complaining about it, you're doing it together at least. So I'm happy with that.
17-degree morning was really rough.
Yeah, there were a couple really bad ones. Yeah,
that was crazy.
Right. It builds character, right? That's what they say.
So we're going into the question segment.
Yeah.
These are just kind of shoot and go to the next one type of questions.
Okay.
I would say I'm gonna give you the first question, and then this is one of my favorite questions. I keep asking it. Okay. I think I'm gonna keep this question throughout the entire.
I'm trying to think of what it is. Okay.
Picture yourself in a world where you never joined the military and you got to work your dream job. What would you be doing?
Oh man. That one's tough because I don't think so. I didn't appreciate the skill of piano until I think I was in high stress jobs. What would I be doing? I don't know. I was on the track to be pre-med. So I don't know, would I have found funding for college a different way and gone? It's hard to tell because I didn't really know what I wanted to do. It was kind of successful people become doctors, I guess, right? Yeah. So I'm good at math and science, so maybe I'll go down that route. But right now I've got a biological science undergrad, an MBA, and then a logistics PhD. So none of those things really kind of correlate, right? So I don't know. I think I was kind of a lost soul, and the Air Force scooped me up, and maybe that's why I stayed, because I found the fulfillment that you were talking about. I found my sense of purpose immediately within those first 4 years. I found that with the Air Force, and was able to, I spent in the first 4 years, I spent a year living in Afghanistan as an air advisor, seeing stuff I never thought I'd see, right? So I just kind of got hung up. So I don't know what my dream job would be. I still don't know what I want to do after, I take the uniform off someday. I don't know. No idea. I know I always wanted to be a mom, so maybe I would have been a stay-at-home mom. I don't know.
Yeah, well,
I think I would have gotten bored with that, though. I don't know.
You can definitely go on. You don't have to take leave to go on cruise ships. There you go. The amusement parks.
I don't know if we would have been able to afford it, though. So I guess that's the trade-off. But I wouldn't have met my husband if I wasn't in the military, too. Yeah. So, I don't know. I think I'm in my dream job.
I think for me, I used to love this game called Roller Coaster Tycoon. I said I just want. What are you laughing? I wanted to own.
Is that where you build the roller coasters?
Yeah. Well, you build theme parks,
a Sims
and I was.
Thing?
Yeah.
Okay.
I wanted to build. Yeah. I wanted to build theme parks.
Yeah.
But I envisioned it as I was actually controlling it, and I was like, no, that's not possible. But I mean, that's a dream of mine. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, that'd be cool.
So, what's your number one stressor and these are questions that some people submitted.
Yeah.
What's your number one stressor when it comes to being responsible for a mini airman, and how you go about combating it?
Number one stressor. And it's gotten better, but I'd say the things that I correlate number one stressor to the things that I lose sleep over. And, I average 3 to 5 hours of sleep a night. But a lot of times I'm up worrying about people. And it's interesting because the individual changes a lot. But so that leads into mental health, right? Because I'm worried about, and it was the first year and a half. It's gotten so much better. And thank the Lord. But I was always thinking about one of our teammates. And are they okay? Are they going to be okay? Did I make the right choice? Whatever the decision was. Trying to, should I have, asked them to come and talk to me more? Could I have helped more? Should I have done something different? Right. So we had a couple really rough situations with teammates, in the first 18 months of my position here. And there were some moments where I would sit with, the first sergeant, and we'd just be almost trying to catch our breaths because we felt so lucky that it didn't turn a different way, right? And some of those situations are really hard. So number one stressor, oh my goodness, is the team okay? Okay. Is that, and you think through it, you say, are my airmen, big A airmen, are my airmen okay? Because we've had people of all ranks have issues, right? So are my airmen okay? Is my family okay with the time that I'm away from them, right? So that's second in this job. So are my airmen okay? Are my kids okay? Is my spouse okay, right? Because it's been really hard 2 years on them too. And then the last piece of that is, am I okay? Because I had some health scares too in the last 2 years. So that's kind of stressors as you walk out from it. Is the team okay? Is my family okay? Am I okay? Yeah. Right? And as you kind of walk through it. So how do you kind
of go about making sure, combating that? You just communicate more, or?
Ooh, that's tough. This sounds stupid, but I focus it back. I focus it back through my lens. Oh my goodness, yeah, I sound like
no, it's good.
This is when I start getting the nonverbals from the team. Stop talking about lens. No. Yeah, it really is though. But because if you just think about the basics of it,
you gotta have tools.
Yeah.
I've heard from leaders, supervisors, have those tools.
Fall back on it.
Your pillars. All goes back to the basics.
Yeah.
What they were trying to teach to us, hoping that we'd retain it after we left basic.
Yep.
And there was a reason for that, and I do see why. There's a reason why you can't forget your water bottle anywhere.
Right.
What if that water bottle was a rifle?
Yeah, exactly.
You left it. You left it in a rush, and now you don't know where your rifle is, and then now. Yeah. You're still accountable for it. So if something happens and if something bad happens, and who's it going to be to blame? You.
Yeah.
So, I mean, there was always a reason for something in being
Yeah.
a team.
Yeah, the tools are important, and I say that, yes, of course, with the teammates that I worried about the most, we walked through the lens with them, right? Brought them in and talked to them about the situation. What's going on? Are you okay? Right? How can we show, you talk about motivate with people who are really, really struggling, is you try to build out a future plan, right? So that they can see that there's a light at the end of the tunnel, right? This is a really tough situation you're in right now, but there is going to be it's going to get better, right? And this is, and kind of walk through and talk about it, right? So that's, we walk through the lens with these individuals. How can I connect you to the right people to help, right? Whether that be other family members or getting you to inpatient care or whatever, right? And then storytelling, make sure that they understand how valued they are and how important they are and the impact they have on the team, right? So the lens works for that, right? But it also works for my kids, and it also works for my spouse. So, when my kids start acting out and getting in trouble in school, and I am never present for them, right? And I'm very distracted when I am home because my work phone goes off constantly, and I have to go into the office to sign stuff because it's an emergency for one of our teammates, right? And my kids start acting up, so then I need to break out my lens for them, right? Okay, so I'm going to take one of them who's having trouble, and let's just go, even if it's just walking around the commissary together or the exchange together, let's have
Not
a
the
conversation,
commissary.
right?
No, I'm just
I
kidding.
see everybody in the commissary. I'm there all the time, right? Yeah, but listening to my kids and saying, just the same as I would with one of our teammates is, what's going on? Like, I know that this isn't normal behavior for you. I'm not mad at you about it, but you're worrying me because you doing this is a symptom of something else, right? So not to go all like work mom on them, but but it applies, right? And then how can I motivate them to have positive behavior at school or wherever the situation was, right? So, yeah.
That's good. I mean, like I said, anybody can use that. I mean, I can start thinking about lens too.
That's good. Hey, it's not trademarked. You can use lens. Go for
this
it.
is another question that came through that I've kept. Is there any advice you were given from an older person when you were younger that you didn't take that you wish you did?
Interesting.
If so, what was it?
Advice from an older person that I didn't take.
I mean, a simple one. Oh, no, go ahead.
No, yeah, I was just going to say, so we talked briefly about it before. I also had a huge problem with tact when I was younger. I thought I knew better than everybody else, and I would tell you to your face, right? No, that's stupid. I know the answer, right? When you're put into a position where you're leading people, you realize quickly that doesn't work. Right. So if you're demeaning people and you're a know-it-all and you might be right, you might have the right answer and you might just be, well, look, I'm just trying to lead them in the right direction. Right. But you have to realize that if you're breaking somebody else down instead of building them up, you're not helping them. Right. Even if you have the right answer, you have to bring them along with you. So I was told early on in my ROTC career as a cadet, because I didn't have patience, so I had a short fuse for patience with others when they didn't understand the problem, like the solution to the problem, right? So I got markdowns in what we would call leadership laboratory because I wasn't the person that, I wasn't the good leader. I might have had the answer to the solution. They'd give us problem sets and they'd put us in a group and they'd figure out who the natural leader was, right? And right off the bat, I'd look at it, and especially if it was something I was good at, I'd be like, here's the answer, right? And they're like, no, you failed. Why did I fail? Because you didn't bring your team with you. You just solved it, right?
Yeah.
You didn't bring the team together with the problem. So, and I ignored that for a long time. So it really took some hard lessons when I was the first time I had a flight command position, the first time, I was really working with a group of airmen or peers and had to solve a problem. And I tried to be a know-it-all, and then I was put in my place. Nobody wants to work with you, right? So I wish I had listened earlier on, I think, as a college student to that and understood how important it is. It's not always important to be the person who's right. Yeah. And now I don't care who gets credit for the ideas. If it moves the team in the right direction, fine, everybody else take the credit. That's fine, right? And I joke about if you want if you know the idea is the right idea, but you don't own the risk on that, you need somebody else to sign off on it. The best way to get that across the finish line is to make the person who has the authority to approve that think it was their idea, right? You pitch it to them as if it was their idea and have them come to the solution, right? And if they then pitch your own idea back to you, sounds like a great idea. I'm 100% on board. That's a really, really, really good idea. Let's how do we make it happen? you know, and it doesn't matter who gets the credit for it, right? And I had
a
to
unique perspective.
Yeah, but I had to learn that, right? I wanted the glory. I wanted the credit. I solved that problem. I want the credit for it. No. Instead of whispering to all the teammates, hey, I think this is the answer, and then allowing them to see what I see, and then together we come to the solution, right? That's the much better way to go.
That really sounds familiar. I felt like I read that somewhere.
Did you? Am I stealing it from something?
No, I don't think I should say, because I think it's illegal for me to say
Oh,
where it's from.
no.
It's also verbatim because I just got an ALS. It's like
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, so I should be teaching ALS. That's good.
Yeah. You go right on.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I have never been to ALS, so I don't know. But yeah, it's. Oh, good. Okay. All right. Yeah. So maybe it's not all just jibber jabber that I'm coming up with.
Nah, not at all. If you had to eat and drink one thing for the rest of your life, what would it be?
Oh my goodness. Eat and drink one thing for the rest of my life. If it was one thing?
Yeah, one food,
man.
one drink.
That's tough. Yeah, so now
It's either alcoholic or non-alcoholic.
No, it's definitely
just kidding.
non-alcoholic. Oh goodness,
Yeah.
that would be a bad life.
Yeah, you can't go wrong with water.
Yeah.
What type of water,
Water
though?
is great.
Gas or no gas?
I think it would need gas. Yeah.
Yeah,
I think it would need gas.
let's go.
I think it would need gas. I think it would need to have some kind of a
Flavoring?
Yes, some kind of a flavoring in
Yeah.
it. Yeah. But
I will supplement Mios. You can drink that.
Oh,
but
I can put that in.
can
Okay,
put Mios.
fair.
Well,
Yeah, with the food immediately. This is my problem solver brain. My mom brain. I think
Donor?
is no. What I'm thinking
Oh,
immediately. What is the most nutritious thing? If I'm eating one thing for the rest of my life, what is an all in? So I'm going to like an udon, like a real solid that has like a bone broth in it and like
Oh, okay,
noodles
like
and
a soup.
vegetables.
Okay.
Yeah. So I'm thinking maybe
Yeah,
it
so
might
that
not
way
be
you
the
can
best.
kind of cheat the whole. I mean, no, it's still
I'm just
still
thinking,
food. Yeah,
I'm
no.
just thinking nutrition wise.
Yeah.
Like if I'm only eating one thing, like if I
Yeah.
say like Cheetos, like I'm dying pretty early, right?
Yeah.
That's not very nutritious.
You gotta
but-
drink a lot of mineral water.
Oh goodness, yeah. I don't think that would even save you. Your insides might turn orange,
No,
right?
that's good. I think
Yeah. What's
I
yours?
would stick with water.
Yeah.
Dang, I love both gas
Yeah.
and non-gas. It's all
Okay.
depending. Like if I'm just
Man.
chilling, sitting down, I kind of want still.
Can you get like a soda stream though? Is that cheating if you like have just water and then you get a soda stream?
Nah, water's water. I'll just say
Okay.
both.
Okay.
And then eat. I'd probably just go. I want to eat street tacos. Like I need the
That's
street
good.
tacos, like
That's
authentic.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, now what kind? I mean, like I said, there's a lot of kinds.
If
so.
you're just going with a truck, that's not fair. I feel like that's cheating
Oh
because you
man,
can switch it up every night.
I don't know then.
Yeah, and then all the toppings that go on that too, like your
That's like that's a part of the taco though.
I don't know.
It's basically a
Yeah,
soup when you're putting
yeah, I
like.
guess that's true. Yeah, but I'm not changing my soup up every day.
Okay, what would I get though? Tropo? Trompo?
What's that?
It's goat. No, I'm just kidding.
Oh, nice. Oh, that sounds great.
Yeah. Barbacoa.
Okay.
I love that
I
stuff.
think I've had it before. I don't recognize the name, but I think I have had it.
Yeah.
I do love some street tacos. Those are
Yeah,
great.
those are man. Can't wait. That's one of the reasons why I'm going back. No, I'm
yeah,
just kidding.
yeah. That's good.
We're gonna start the skit. We're getting towards the
What?
end.
A skit.
Yeah, that's in what's in the description. We're gonna have
Oh, man.
we're gonna see who has the best dance moves. He's gonna cue the music. No, I'm just kidding.
I was like, look, man.
No, okay, it's so
Look, I shared my heart with you today.
simple skit. Where
Mm-hmm.
we're gonna try to go as fast as possible. To
Okay.
be fair, I didn't think of any.
Okay.
I didn't pre-think of any. We're gonna do 3 rounds:
That's
truths,
not
truths,
true
and a
at all.
lie.
You're the one who came up with this. What do you
True,
mean
but
you
I
didn't
didn't think too
anything?
far into it because I was like, I'm gonna put it on the spot to think of 2 truths and a lie. So we're gonna do 3 rounds. The host and guest will give 2 truths and a lie about themselves. It is up to the opposing player to guess which is the lie. The player with the most round wins and gets a prize.
A prize.
Yes.
Okay.
So quickly,
Yeah.
we're gonna think of 2 truths and a lie.
Okay. You going first?
Okay, I'll go
Okay.
first. On the spot. Let's see. All right. First statement.
Yeah.
I worked at Burger King and I was the mascot.
Okay.
And I have 2 sister-in-laws
Okay.
and then 2 blood sisters.
Okay.
And then the last one is I got married in December 2020.
I think the first one's lie.
Dang it. I should have made that one the truth. Okay, you got yours?
No.
I did that. This is where I said I did that on the spot because
Yeah.
I didn't want to be unfair and have them all preloaded already.
Whatever. Goodness, I'm not good at lying. I mean,
I had to look
it's
at
not
you
good.
like the whole time I
Yeah.
was saying because the moment I look away and I say something, I was
Yeah,
like, oh
right,
no,
right,
that's
right.
the lying
You got
one.
tells, yeah,
Yeah.
and I like to read body language too. So,
Yeah.
Okay, let's see. I have 4 daughters. I have been married for 10 years.
Oh dang!
Oh, hold on. Yeah.
You think of the lie.
No, let me start again. I don't want that one. All right, I have
Oh,
4
wait,
daughters.
no.
I have 4 daughters. My husband is a soldier. And
Do you mean was a soldier or is a soldier?
I said is a soldier.
Okay.
And let's see. I am farsighted.
Dang, that's a hard one.
Which one's the lie? You know?
Wait, I want to say. Wait, what? Your husband is a soldier.
Yeah.
That's a lie?
That's what I said. That's what you think the lie is?
Yeah.
No, he's a soldier.
Oh, he wasn't. He's still active?
Yeah. Well,
Ah.
he's a reservist, but he's on active orders here. But
Ah.
even as a reservist, he's still a soldier.
Oh, well, no, I thought if he would like got out already.
Yeah. No.
Then-
He's still. Yeah. Yeah. He's still serious. He'll be at the.
It was
he'll be at
farsighted?
the event in uniform. Yeah.
That was the lie? Which one was
No.
Support.
Yeah.
4 girls?
Yeah. I
You
got.
have to, like, pay attention because we talked about daughters on
Yeah.
that, basically.
Yeah.
Ah.
I've got 3 daughters and 1 son.
Oh, dang. Oh, man.
Yeah. Don't forget my son.
I'm
My
sorry.
lone soldier.
Oh,
guy.
man. I need it. This is the comeback now. Here we go. All right.
You completely still.
No way.
All
He's
right.
gonna have tells. He's too
Okay, hold
honest.
up.
That's why. Like, he's trying to hide
I'm
his
not.
face
I'm not
too.
looking anymore. Okay, I got one.
Uh-huh.
I got one. I don't. Oh, I got one. All right. I have 3 black cats.
Okay.
I ride a Yamaha R6 back
Okay.
at home.
Okay.
And then I have my parents were born in the 1960s.
Okay. The cats.
That's the lie?
Yeah.
No, it's
Oh, did you tell me a different motorcycle? Is that what? You ride
yeah.
bikes, don't you? Oh, come on.
I was like, oh, she knows I ride a motorcycle, but she don't know which one though.
Oh man.
No, it's a
Goodness.
Honda CBR. It's not nothing too fancy, but it was a good
Okay.
beginner bike for me. I own it. That's why I
Yeah.
still have it. I'm looking to get a new motorcycle, but my 1 year expired, so I need to take the class.
man.
But I haven't
Man.
rode since, and I didn't even bring my motorcycle over here because
Yeah.
it wasn't gonna pass the inspection with all the modification it has on
Yeah.
it. So that's another reason I'm going back
Uh-huh.
to the States.
Yeah.
I
That's
mean,
fair. 3 cats though. That's a
oh
lot of
man,
cats.
that's work.
I love cats, but that's
Yeah.
3.
Salem?
You think the cats are gonna be okay with the new baby?
100.
You think?
100%.
Oh, look,
Yeah,
that's
100%.
Good.
Yeah.
All right, cool.
Salem, Sabrina, and
Uh-huh.
Silas, all S's.
Yeah. Yeah.
Pretty
So
cool cats.
You
I love
you
them.
have that like witch theme.
Kind of, yeah,
Sabrina
yeah,
the Teenage Witch. Is that what that's off?
Yeah.
Salem witch trials.
yeah.
And then what's Silas? Is
Silas is a
connected?
character from Vampire Diaries.
Okay, there
He's
you
one
go.
of the
Yeah, yeah.
oldest vampires, so it still has that kind of
Yeah.
like theme.
Spooky theme.
Yeah.
Got it. Yeah.
All right,
That's
last
cool.
round, 1-1. Here
Oh,
it goes.
man. Oh,
Down to
man.
this. If we get tied, we might as well play rock paper scissors.
Okay.
Yeah. All right.
Oh
Oh wait. I haven't even.
What?
Oh, never mind. I still
Okay.
got to guess for it to be tied.
Yeah. You're right. Yeah. Hold on a second.
Wait, what?
Yeah.
Is that how that works? Okay.
Okay. I have an Australian Shepherd. I own 3 homes, and I drive a Honda Odyssey.
I know that you drive a Honda Odyssey. I remember. That's the van, right? That's the van. All right.
What, are you helping?
No,
Somebody
I
say
know.
yes?
I know that you have the van. I seen the van.
I was looking up, so I was
Yeah.
trying to figure it out.
No,
Okay.
you don't have a dog.
I do.
What?
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh man, dang! I still don't have a point. No.
Yeah, I have an Australian Shepherd. Yeah.
Oh man, 3 homes. What you
Australian
own?
Shepherd. Yeah, yeah. He's old, man. Yeah.
I never seen him. I
Yeah,
guess I
and-
didn't look too deep enough
He's been in
in
the office
Facebook.
a couple times. Are you stalking my Facebook?
Well, I
Look,
mean, I
got
try
that
to
thing
do
on
so much
lockdown.
Dang.
It's not all that good, but it's kind of locked down.
Yeah, it is locked down. I was like, well, there's not much.
Yeah, and my spouse doesn't post, so
Yeah.
he helps me out with that.
Do you have the A missing for some reason?
Yeah, it's actually, it used to be, I used to have the rest of my last name taken off, but as I got closer to
You-
leaving this position, I put it back on.
Okay.
So my full last name is showing now. But
Okay.
it was advised that, you talk about not everybody's going to like you, right?
Yeah.
So people look for you, for better or for worse, right?
Oh, dang.
Yeah, so
That's
I went a
messed
little
up.
incognito for a bit. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, this is it. The last round. If you get it wrong, I would have to get it right. Then that would actually be a tie.
Yeah.
Okay. I gotta think. Ooh. So at my college PVMU, I was the Black Panther mascot my freshman year of college.
Okay.
I also was the high school mascot of MacArthur High School, so I was General MacArthur.
Okay.
And then my favorite color is white.
The first one.
No. The lie is
the
white.
Panther. Oh, your favorite color.
I didn't think of the lie while I thought of the truth, so I had to lie real quick. But
So what's
no,
your favorite color then?
Oh, my favorite color right now. I mean, it's always been red. No. Wait, no. Yeah, see, it's red.
He says right now. It changes every day.
Well, I mean, look.
Yesterday
At
was
one
white.
point, like a while back, it
Yeah.
was purple, same as you. I liked purple.
Yeah. You all just talk about your favorite colors all the time. I
No,
couldn't tell you
well, I
what my
think-
favorite color is. I don't even know.
Hers is black.
Yeah.
See, mine is black and purple. They're like even.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I mean, I like red. I don't know why.
Red.
I think I don't know.
Yeah.
It's just a cool color to me.
All right. So you won that one,
Well, I mean,
or I didn't get a point.
if
Is that how it
if
works?
I don't guess
This
it
is
right,
your game. I don't know.
no, if I don't get it right, then you win by 1 point, and we just got it
Yeah.
all wrong. But crap! I can't believe I
Oh,
said right
man.
now. Freak.
Okay. Let's think. All right. Okay. Our family. I'm gonna go back to cars. Our family owns 2 minivans.
That one. No, I'm just kidding.
Lame, right?
No,
Our
no,
family owns 2 minivans.
you have
Let's see.
to. What's the lie?
I graduated from Our Lady of the Lake University. And
in Texas.
It is in Texas, yeah. Look, you're fishing for more information on each of these.
Okay, I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Crazy. Yeah. And let's see. Oh man, I had one. Oh, in college I played the viola in the symphony orchestra.
So you went to Lackland at some point. That's probably where you got one of the 3 degrees or something.
Yeah.
So it can't be that. I believe you got 2 minivans, so I'm gonna do the last one.
Yeah.
That's a lie.
Yeah.
Let's go. Look at that little investigation.
I do play the viola, but yeah, I didn't have the time to play.
College. Wow, that was pretty. I mean, I'm a little.
So what is that? We're tied.
That was pretty
What
good.
does
I
that
said
mean?
you went to Lackland. It's Our Lady of the Lake is in Texas. I was
Yeah.
like, and you said you have like 3 degrees of some sort.
Yeah, that's where I got my MBA.
Okay.
And then my
so-
husband's a copycat. He also went there for his MBA, so yeah,
Okay.
that's how I got it. But
One and done. Rock paper scissors.
okay. right.
Oh, how are we doing this?
I don't know.
you
How do
wanna-
you do rock, paper, scissors?
Okay, rock, paper, scissors, shoot. You ready?
One and done. It's best of 3. You can't just do one. Can you?
True. Rock, paper, scissors.
Okay.
Okay,
Or just don't
alright.
pick scissors. Ready? Rock, paper, scissors, shoot.
Why'd you say that?
She actually picked
You
scissors.
put it in my head. Why'd you do that?
And I freaked out too. I put it in my own head, man. Okay,
Ready?
don't pick scissors again though. Ready?
Stop.
Rock, paper, scissors, shoot. Dang it.
So I went. Oh, we're still going?
Oh, okay.
I won.
Okay, all right. The prize, please.
What's the prize? Do I get a day pass? Is that what it is?
Oh, man, we were hoping. That's what I was trying to win right now. So I know you kind of like those life guide books.
I
don't know-
love them. Yeah.
I don't know if you read this one,
What is it called?
The One Thing.
I have not.
So I'm gonna be honest. I don't know what it's about,
What's
but it is.
Yeah, I was gonna say who knows what it's about.
I mean, it says the one thing delivers. When it says the one thing, it's talking about the
Yeah.
book, delivers extraordinary results in every area of your life, work, personal, family, and spiritual. So it's like, it's asking what your one thing is. It's kind of like a why.
Yeah.
So, I mean,
That's
on
cool.
behalf of the KMC First Four and the After Duty Hours team, we want to give you a
Thank
gift.
you. I love it. I
So,
am.
we
I-
just ask you don't forget this because every gift we have given to
No way. This
they've
is mine.
forgotten it.
I'm gonna stamp it immediately, and it'll go on my shelf, and I'll make sure that it gets picked up with an accompanied package when they come.
Awesome.
No, I'm all for. I'm trying to build a bigger library, so most of my
Read a book a
books.
day.
Yeah, well, I don't know if I can get through a whole book a day, but I read while I run every morning at 5 a.m. and I listen to books on audio. So
Yeah.
I'm an Audible.
That's
fan.
how I got
Yeah.
on.
That's how you
finished
got
with
through
this.
there.
Yeah, I
but
get
I like
distracted too much. What y'all laughing at?
I mean, those like reading, bro.
right? You know, look, so it's so funny the way that you change as you get older. I'm old now. As you get older, I would never have thought of doing that when I was younger, but now this is my decompression. And if I don't do my run and listen to my books in the morning, I'm a mess. Like if you want to talk about like how do you manage the stress of like certain jobs, I need that. You know, and it honestly, it's really
it's
not.
like mentorship. It's like you just pick and buffet.
I love it. It
these
makes
books.
me think, right? It really
Yeah.
does. It makes me think about why I do things, right?
Yeah,
As they're going through
how are you
different
gonna
things.
handle situations?
Yeah.
So-
But I don't just do leadership books. You know, I'll do books about marriage. I'll do books about children. I'll do books about by families of origin and the way your parents raised you. You know, I love that social science. You know, let's talk about why you are the way you are and how you became, you know, Amanda Femano, right? Or how you became who you are.
Yeah.
I love learning about that and thinking about it. So that's how I kind of de-stress. And it keeps me from thinking about, when I listen to music, it's just in the background, I'm thinking about my stressors constantly. I'm making lists. I'm going through what I have to do for the day. When I've got a book on tape, or, you know, I say book on tape, that makes me sound really old. When I have Audible on, then I'm listening to the book and I'm actually, you know, learning something and going through.
Kind of like a podcast can do that.
Yeah,
as well.
yeah, definitely. I have listened to some podcasts, especially the ones that offer, you know, themes that I want to get after and grow.
Or sign.
Yeah, there you go. Oh no, it's coming down.
No, it's all good.
Yeah, but yeah, thank you so much.
No problem.
I will add this to my shelf, and honestly, I will probably put it on my Audible if there's an audio version, and I'll listen to it. I just finished a book, so I'm open for a new one.
Yeah. Well, you're welcome, and we're getting to the end of the podcast.
Yeah. No, that's great.
Is there any last words or any recap, whether it be to me, to the people behind the camera, or anybody listening? Any like last minute kind of, I don't know, the farewell kind of advice that you would give to somebody who's trying to strive in your footsteps, or anything that we talked to?
Goodness. I don't know if anybody's trying to strive in my footsteps, but I think that what you're doing here and what the team's doing here is absolutely amazing. I
After
love,
duty hours.
yeah, right. I love when people find a way to give back to to their teammates that they work with and connect in a different way, right? Because that really is what we all need, is a little bit more connection. So this is a method to connect, and I hope that it's making a difference in people's lives. But I like the direction you guys are going with it. So definitely, words of wisdom. I don't really have all that much to give. The things that I've learned is, be a responder, not a reactor, right?
And the lens.
Listen, that's my
excitement,
lens. Network and storytell. Listen, excite, network, and storytell. Yeah, focus things, but not that's my lens. But figure out what your lens is, right? And, you can come up with your own goofy acronym. But I will say, as a piece of advice, is start thinking about, even from, our most junior airmen, think about what your leadership philosophy is. And, you don't have to call it that. You can just, talk about, think about what you stand for and why you do the things you do. And if you want to put some acronym together about that, fine, that's great. But be able to tell people develop that elevator pitch that you can say, this is who I am and what I stand for. And that is the first step to build your leadership philosophy. It's great. And it's really good advice, right? So it's not mine, obviously. I'm just passing on regurgitated thoughts. But the other thing I would say is, in line with the networking is help people when and if you can, right? Always be available to help people, and always empower those around you. And all of that gets to the same end goal of building your team to be better and to replace you, right? And I think that anybody would be successful with those things. If you're working to build your team up and have them replace you, you're going to keep going further, right?
Well, thank you, Amanda Femano, for being our guest on this episode 9 of After Duty Hours. We are coming to a close, as always. Me and my team always appreciate our listeners and for everyone supporting us. And we hope to see you on the next episode. There should be a few more episodes coming out this month. I know we took a little vacation, but that's because my team and we do good work, and a break is well needed sometimes, and I think that's important to speak upon. But thank you, and we'll see you next time. Thank you.